this is the support at InfoSec for TC. Just I have one request. When you send a message on WhatsApp, please make sure to mention the name of the workshop you would like to join, as we have many workshops working now. Thank you.
All right, thank you for the advice. So again, emphasizing on that, whatever message you're sending about the training, just mention the program so they can support you at the best way. Thank you. So just to continue here, and I believe now we have the recording going on, and I'm happy to welcome you once more time with the recording to this training session. This is an introductory session about our program. We have our reasons to believe that this will be a successful program because this relies on many good factors, including the practical training and including understanding the market, understanding the technologies that we work on. This is a complete cybersecurity analyst training designed to onboard you on the security technologies that will help you to be a security analyst, whether you want to work in a SOC center or you want to work as a standard security analyst on malware analyst or whatever you want. So about me, I will be the trainer for this course. My name is Mahmoud Al-Hindi. I have been working more than 10 years in the network and security, cybersecurity field. And this is a very intensive field. I work with the service providers. We work with the public sectors, private sectors, and we provide them full support on whatever they have. I'm holding a master's degree in computer network security. And of course, working in this field, you have to get also the international certificates, whether you work with Microsoft, Splunk, or CCNA, I have, and a lot of certifications. So what are we going to do today? Today in our training, we're going to have, first of all, an idea about the cybersecurity today. Today, actually, the dynamic of the business is very fast. It's very hard to catch. And where do we stand at the moment in cybersecurity? And how important is it? And what does it mean to get involved in the cybersecurity? So we'll take a look at that, and then we'll see also about the cybersecurity analyst course. Of course, we'll explain how does this course fit into the market and how does it prepare you. We'll talk about red team, blue team. What about the SOC analyst role? What do you do usually? And then we'll do sort of Windows events and deep blue CLI, let's say workshop. And then probably we'll explain to you how the practical labs will be going on. So starting off about the cybersecurity again, where do we stand in this? So today we have certain readings in the market. That is a very recent reading on the 2022 is saying that we have an average cost of a breach around 9.44 million only in the United States, according to IBM data. What does that mean? It means that the breach is really costly. It's not okay to tolerate anything around cybersecurity today. So with having that in mind, that this is what we're trying to explain here is that the business try to invest more and more day after day on the cybersecurity, and they have no will to cut cost if it's that critical, let's say, area in the cybersecurity. Compromised email cyber attack increased 48% in the first half of 2022. That reports with 11,395 incidents costing business around 12.3 million. And again, one more thing is for the security magazine, there are over 2,200 attacks every day, which break down to nearly one cyber attack every 39 seconds. So how long we've been here giving this? Around a couple of minutes. Then imagine how many attacks they just happened during this time. So it's pretty much consistent, pretty much intense what we have today of cyber threats. And public companies, as you can see, they estimated 8.6 loss of their value after a cyber breach. So imagine like big companies like Oracle, IBM, Google, Facebook, Meta today. So all of these companies, they try to raise their value as much as they can by only, let's say, 3%. They will pay a huge amount. So today, when we say that they lose 8.6 of their value after a breach, that means a breach is a very, very costly. So as a result of that, we will be having a mentality and the strategy of the business that to have a better investment and a higher security on all of their systems. So they don't want to get damaged by any of the ones that we talked about, either financially, data exposure, loss of their value in the market. So that's somehow good news for anyone who wants to join the cybersecurity. Why? Because as you can see, based on this criticality of the cyber defense, I would call it now, because now we need to invest on the defense side. There will be, as you can see, nearly 3.5 million open cybersecurity jobs waiting to be filled in 2023. So 3.5 million open cybersecurity jobs, that is actually a very, very good market today where maybe you will find other position and other people will have a much less number. So whatever you're building in your skill set in your cybersecurity, it is a very suitable for what's the market demanding at the moment. Nearly 70% of organizations reported a labor shortage of their cyber security team. So you'll find now, imagine 70%, it's a really big number today. If 70% of the companies are looking for the same job, which is around cybersecurity, that means you have a very, very good chance to be hired. 77% security professionals surveyed ISC Square reported that they either satisfied or extremely satisfied with their job, which has been risen from 66. So that means they are happy. Security professionals, they are working in the companies, they're happy. That means it's a good career. So if you are thinking about going further in your career, whether you're already in cybersecurity or even you're planning to change to cybersecurity, these are really very good numbers and these are very good news. To continue on that, Google and Microsoft pledged to invest more than 60 billion over the 5-year period to improve the cybersecurity systems. Cybersecurity spending estimated of 188 billion in 2023. Huge numbers, huge investment. It's on the move. If you ask anybody around, it will tell you cybersecurity is the place to go today. And I'm trying to relate these sentences and these facts with the sources that I have on the screen, with the studies that's on the market, because if we got convinced with that, that means we can invest in our time and in our skill set to build something that we can move on in our career and get going in the cybersecurity field. So how does it work? Basically, what we have is in the company when they want to invest something around the cybersecurity, they want to have a certain mentality of and strategy in defending their company. So they try to hire skill set or a team with a skill set of offensive. At the same time, of course, it's a very, very important to have a very good team of defense. Well, the offensive guys, they are not meant to do damage to the company because they are actually trying to act as the bad people and adversaries, what we call them. And those adversaries, of course, will use certain tools. Well, what if we try to use the adversary tools? What if we try to act as our own attackers, try to find our own vulnerabilities? Well, this is called the red team. The red team will have certain tools certain like Metasploit, say. Metasploit's framework is a complete open source framework, and that framework has a lot of tools and mechanisms to provide, for example, a reverse shell payload, which is type of attack. It can provide, let's say, password spray. It can provide, for example, a lot of types of attacks that they can really crack certain organization. So they will hire those people. They will try to do what we call it the penetration testing, vulnerability assessment. They try to see where is my weaknesses. Well, the blue team at the main time will try to close all these. I'll try to find also the real-time adversaries. Do we have really someone trying to do penetration on our? Do we have really adversaries? Do we have real attacks at the moment? How would we know? So the blue team is extremely important at the moment because this is what's acting as the police guy for the company. So this is what actually those are the people who are monitoring and analyzing everything going on in the company to make sure that it's really clean and we don't have anyone trying to access our information. So some people might say that we have something between the blue team and red team, which is like the purple team. So as InvGate, they published this the cyber security wheel of colors. We can see that we have a lot of teams, but do we have those teams really in every organization? Well, I would say not really. But these you can consider them as mindset. So, for example, I have certain tools. If I want to do certain vulnerability assessment, then I'm trying to be one of the red team. I'm trying to test my company. At the same time, I might be the same person who I'm going to, for example, build a um, a rule or an alert to give me an alert that some attack, if for example, a certain event will appear, I will be having an alert on my email, so I will respond to that. So then I'm acting as a blue team. And then we have certain people or a certain, let's say, mindset or certain idea, which is having learning from both the red team and the blue team. So the blue team, for example, will do a certain account lockout if multiple attempts tried. The red team will try to do password spray, understanding to have a solution in between the blue and the red team. Let's say this is a purple team mentality. It's a mindset. If you heard something about the yellow team, those are people who are architects, coders, and these are the people who are building certain solutions in your organization. You still have also something like orange team. But again, all of these are not very important to know all of that, but just to know that there are different mindsets to look at the cybersecurity. So our focus in this training is to be professional at the blue team, which is the defensive. What do you do as a blue team SOC analyst? Working as a SOC analyst in the blue team, I would tell you that this is a very interesting role because you will keep discovering, you will keep building information inside your mindset, I say, in your skill set. You will have to keep a very good skill set at monitoring, investigating, and resolve cybersecurity attacks and alerts. So, do we have an attack? Do we have an alert? What is that, for example, alert that came up, and what is going on? So, interpreting things is one of the most important skill sets. Now, how can you build this? Actually, based on our training, what we will do, we will try to introduce you to different investigations and different incidents and different even malwares. So our labs are really intensive to give you all the capability and give you all the idea to build all of these monitoring investigation skill set. So, for example, you found a certain alert. One of the most easy things that to check, for example, if this is a false positive, for example, is this is a wrong event is trying to say that, for example, this is an attack, and then you found out that no, this is not an attack, an internal software that does this behavior. So you mark this at what we call it false positive. Properly respond to incidents through incident response framework. An incident response framework is how you act against certain incident, security incident. How do you log that incident? What do you do? You for example, you put the tasks that have been taken, you put the tactics that has been used against you. All of this also documentation is required for you to build this role, and we will provide you with that. Perform alert fine tuning to cut down false events, and that happens on what we call it the SIM solution, which stands for the Security Information and Event Management, where you have a certain dashboard showing you the logs and the information from all around your environment. Um, Administer and maintain different tools, of course. As working as a SOC analyst, you must have a skill set and your own tools to investigate. It's like your own. It's like you're going for a martial arts, and you're going for a fight, and you have to know what kind of skill set you want to use in every situation. So when you want, for example, to scan an office file, there is a certain tool that is used for an office malware scanner, for example. If you want to have, for example, to test a file, for example, if it's a malware or not, you have certain tools, for example, any run or whatever sandboxing solution. If you want, for example, to provide certain hashing and to check for any embedded files, we have also our tools. The good news is we will teach you how to use all these tools, and we will give you a very good set of all these tools practically, and how to use them and how to interpret the incidents and the malwares and all of the suspicious activities. And one that's the last but definitely not least, educate themselves on the new threats and attack trends. One of the things that you have to keep it as your in your lifestyle is that being able to read and follow up on the trends, what's happening. So, for example, we have a new vulnerability on, let's say, Microsoft Exchange on premise. So you need to understand what's going on. You read about it. Maybe you can subscribe to certain newsletter, the Hacker News, very good one, for example. So you will have to keep reading and following up on what's going on in the cybersecurity. So that's why I'm telling you that the whole role of the SOC analyst requires certain intelligence and good observation. This is actually something not to worry about. This is something really positive. The reason is that now today, if you see the market, how it's going about the information technology overall, you'll find that many roles they only follow a certain product. For example, you get a certificate in working on certain solution, like say Oracle database or whatever. Then when you just work on that, some roles they will just allow you to follow whatever the vendor is telling you. So for example, how to build this, you just follow the document. Definitely you have certain you have intelligence when you have issues how to integrate and all of this, but this is a different level of a location that you will work on. For example, when you start work, you are not bound by any certain vendor, any certain technology. No, it's just you trying to understand what's going on. You use your own tools. You use the technologies the way that you like to. You use the technologies the way that benefits you. So you are not just following up, for example, certain releases and certain documentation just to follow step by step how to set up this and how to integrate that. No, you are actually an analyst. You have to have a good observation. So we'll give you, for example, a certain scenario, certain investigation, and then you have to use your own tools, whatever tools you would like to, whatever things you want to do, but you have to get certain intelligence out of your situation. And that will build up a very good mindset for you in your career. So, common cybersecurity analyst tools that we can use. Very nice tools. In the beginning, you find the biggest four letters in the middle: security, security information, and event management. The SIEM, or we'll call it SIM solution. The SIM solution is a vital component in working as a cybersecurity analyst. The reason is that a SIM solution is what? From the name that you can see that it has information and events. All the endpoints in your environment, whether you have a switch, a router, a firewall, a server, a Linux machine, a Windows machine, a Windows server, every service in there and every aspect of it, usually it provides certain logs. And working with those logs, of course, if we want to work separately with these logs, is a very painful job. So what we do is we provide a certain client that migrate or forward all these logs to our SIM solution. And then the SIM solution will be able to identify and classify all of these logs in a way that we can specify what's important for us and what's not important. And then it will be easy for us to identify if we have any problem in any one of those systems that we have. Someone trying to use a a malware in the machine, someone trying to, for example, to run certain services or create certain services that are not supposed to run, we will be notified and hopefully we'll do an action on it. Now, of course, there will be a SOAR, which is an automated response. Maybe we'll talk about it later in the course. How does it work? That an automated response on these events. One of the very good tools that you could use in the as a SOC analyst as well is the Cyber Chef to cook for you all the recipes. The Cyber Chef is a great tool that provide you, for example, a uh, a hash file of the hash of the file. Let's say you can extract certain strings out of a file and then being able to understand if this is suspicious or not. Does it have a certain URL? Does it try to have a payload inside it? If you want to convert, if you want to extract, if you want to do a lot of things, CyberChef is one of the excellent tools that you can use. Um, Flare VM is by Mandiant, is an excellent virtual machine that we use it to test certain malwares. We set it as a VM inside your machine, and then you'll be able to copy the malicious file and try to analyze it. MISP, which is Malware Information Sharing Platform. This is a location for all the security analysts, how they can share information about the malwares. So I have a certain malware, I can share it with the rest of the security analysts so they are aware if this is if they have something similar, or if they want to have, if they found the same file hash, let's say, they will be able to identify. Uh, we have also the AnyRun. It's any.run. It's an excellent website that can provide you, for example, with the sandboxing that you can run certain virus and see what is the behavior of that virus. So we have, of course, the Wireshark is a software that is used widely to analyze network traffic. Honeypot, VirusTotal, and the Hive. A lot of tools here. All these tools we'll be talking about. I can show you also some demonstration about these tools, for example. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to run the any.run website to show you one of the tools that we use. As you can see, there are also submitters around the world of files that they have, for example, suspicious activities. What we can do is, for example, create a new task and upload a file. That's the file, for example, I want to upload it. So it will give me, for example, here 1 minute. Within 1 minute, which is started already, I can see my file here, which I uploaded, and open it. I can maybe extract the file that I have. And I found now sample.doc, and I can double click it to run. Now I'm running the suspicious file that I have in a virtual machine. That is what we call it, sandbox. Now this virtual machine is trying to do suspicious activities, let's say. It's just a Word file, but as you can see, everything I'm doing now is just recorded. And as you can see, I still have 15, 14, 13 seconds, and then my minute is stopped. And once this is done, then it will analyze when I open that file, did we have any suspicious activity? Now, as you can see, it has detected that I have malicious activity on that. I can click on IOC, indicator of compromise. It say that we had a domain request to xmlformats.com, which is a suspicious website. I can get a text report, and the text report will show me everything that happened around that. When I started, I run the WinRAR, and then I run also, after I extracted my file, the WinWord. Then it started certain process and also it has done all of these registry activities and file activities. Now this is the DNS request which has taken place to access a malicious website. So that's just an example of the any run, for example, software that we use. Honeypot, for example, is one of also of the strong softwares that we use to lower the attackers. They try to find vulnerability, but the vulnerability is false vulnerability. So whenever they try to access it, we try to see, for example, what username and password they're trying to pass inside. So to be able to use all these and to be able to build this skill set during our training, what we'll be getting? We'll be getting a skill set that matches exactly what's required in the market. And I actually just took a screenshot of the LinkedIn job requirement, and that is very recent. And I think this opening is still available in London. So they're saying that they are trying to look for a cybersecurity specialist. So what is the cybersecurity specialist experience that they want? They want to have incident response. It's, as I said, in the Hive. So we will be having the experience to do the incident response on a live website. Now I will show you, of course, the live websites that we will be working on practically, but let's just go through what's required and do we fulfill these requirements based on the job market. So incident response, security engineering, and intrusion detection. All these three, you will have experience in these during our course, practical experience. Experience of SOC or incident response team, again, analyze endpoint. So the endpoints will be having that, we will be having certain malwares and we need to analyze them Network and application logs. We will be having a lot of application logs and network logs to go through. SIM tools. We will be working on a SIM. Cyber hunting, definitely. What is cyber hunting? If you think when you want to hunt a threat, when hunting a threat means what? That means I have a certain activities happening in the machine, but I don't know if it is a threat or not. So you try to hunt it if it's hidden, if it's not visible. Certain code is trying to run, will be able to hunt it. Well, yes, if you use the tools that, for example, I show you, and more tools that will be there, you will be able to identify this malicious code, and then you will be able to hunt it down. Meter, ATT and CK is a framework. We'll be talking about it. Yes, of course, we'll be talking about it, and you will have a very good understanding of it. Threat modeling, operational threat intelligence and common attack vectors, security vulnerabilities, and technical reports. I can tell you that all these skill sets required by this job role, you will be having experience in it and you will be having confidence in it. So I can see that working together on this SOC analyst training and going through this training course will have a great benefits on your career, and it can help you a lot in finding a new job. About our cyber security analyst course, again, I've been talking about it, but again, I want to emphasize that this course is designed to prepare you for a cyber security analyst, as I show you in the previous slide. Now, by explaining the concepts, now, of course, we have to explain the concepts, but you have to keep in mind that we are engaging a heavy hands-on experience on labs. So the labs will be a very big chunk in our training. Each session or 2 sessions will introduce a new investigation or challenge. And what kind of investigation or challenge we're talking about? Let me show you. We are going actually to work on Blue Team Labs Online. It's a platform that can offer you a great experience in your hands-on experience. Now, what kind of experience you will get? Actually, it's a very, very practical experience. So what we do, for example, every one of you will have to register on this website to have their own username and password. And we are very happy to tell you that if you are continuing our course, we will give you a 3 months pro membership on this website, because actually without a pro membership you will have a very basic, as you can see, if we take a look at the free investigations, we have only 2. And if you would like to go for a pro, as you can see, we have around £40 for 3 months. We are talking about around $50 that will be given to you for free during our course. And how can this practically help us? This is actually an excellent one for you. When we start working with a practical experience here, we can simply choose any scenario. Every investigation has its own scenario. So for example, here, if we take a look, we have here a scenario saying a Windows workstation was recently compromised and evidence suggests that there was an attack for internet-facing RDP. Meterpreter was deployed, conduct action on objective. Can you verify the findings? That's the question. You have been provided with the security events and certain files to perform your investigation. So that will be your own lab. Everyone will have their own lab. So you're not even sharing it. You will apply your own ways. You will do your own readings. But at the end of the day, there are questions that must be answered. Now, for me, of course, they are answered already. So for example, you will be using certain tools to tell you, for example, which user account run this service. Now, what are we going to do to get this answer? We have to investigate. How do you investigate? Of course, here I'll try to teach you how to perform certain investigations. Now, some of these, for example, they have 4 points. Some they have more, for example. Some they have less, and these depends on the difficulty of the question. We'll tell you, for example, um, what certain events happened in that date. What's, for example, what's the suspicious service that was created? What's the suspicious user that was created? And what groups was this, for example, user added? So all of these are questions require you to do certain investigations with tools to be able to understand it. Once you understand these, you'll have a huge amount of information to take with you as lesson learned. And the beauty that this will stay with you, and you can at any time start a certain investigation and do the and even you can explore around the same lab over and over again. If you have, for example, certain other ways you want to use, if you have other tools you want to use. So as you can see, for example, this is run already, and you will be provided with a username and password here, for example, no password for this. So, and then now when you open, you will have a complete virtual machine that is dedicated for this scenario. So that's actually a Windows machine. In my case, sometimes it's a Linux machine. You will have to work on it. And when you open, for example, here the investigation, you will have a README, for example, will tell you more information about it. As you can see here, let's increase the size of the text. Welcome to Deep Blue, an easy difficulty in Windows intrusion challenge, focusing on log analysis. For this lab, you will need to use this tool via PowerShell as admin to quickly identify important activities within exported log. Some questions will require manual analysis using Event Viewer to create custom filters or identify specific activities. That's it. Good luck. You'll not have the answers available in the website itself. Um, so you will sometimes you'll be provided with a certain tools like CyberChef. Remember, we talked about CyberChef is one of the important tools that you can use as a cyber security analyst. Some of the tools that will be inside the machine, you'll have the capability to copy from clipboard inside outside. Um, So this is a certain investigation. If we take a look at how many investigations, for example, here we can see a really big number of investigations and different difficulties, different tools that we can use. For example, if we take a look at the reverse engineering here, take a look. Reverse engineering is a lab that you will use Lisa Sandbox, Virus Total, Command Line, URL House. So all of these tools you will be using in this investigation. Let's choose another investigation, for example. Um, of course, we start in the easy difficulty, and then we go to the next. For example, this is Pro using Peak 2. It's called. We'll be using Wireshark and editor Linux CLI. So this is using the Linux command line and Wireshark. This is considered to be a medium difficulty. So even if I would like to, for example, emphasize on a certain tool to give you more practical work about it, I can search in the tool, for example, Wireshark, to show you all the investigation that I will be using Wireshark. And also you will be having badges, for example, to become a threat hunter, investigator, intelligence analyst, threat hunter. All of these badges you will get as much as you are resolving from these challenges. So this can engage an gamified way of resolving and learning around. This can be very helpful for you to get, for example, a practical experience while enjoying it. You might be doing even beyond the course. You start an investigation on your own that we are not working on it. You say, okay, I want to challenge myself and start a new investigation. That will be actually excellent. And we will be all together in this course. Whatever you need, we will support you with that. So, by not only explaining the concepts behind the technologies and engaging heavy hands on experience on labs, each session or two sessions will introduce an investigation, a new investigation. So, that is, for example, what I show you is an investigation. We'll be finishing it, explaining behind every question and answer. Why are we providing that answer? What's the reason behind it? So, you have the understanding. Well, also one more advantage, a great advantage about the course that it can prepare you for certain international certifications. So if you would like to get certified as a SOC analyst from EC Council, this course can greatly help you at achieving that. Or even if you can go if you would like to go for the GIAC Security Operations certified, that is also a good idea to follow this course. Of course, additional readings might be required for these certifications, uh, but it can actually greatly help you to achieve. Now, the course is set to complete in around 2 months, and that will be during the weekends only. Now, during the weekends is a great way to build your own skill set. Now, any information that you're receiving in this course, you will have a week to digest that, to provide practicality, to understand the reasoning behind it. I can say that this is a great advantage that it can provide you a certain commitment on yourself, because if you don't have something to follow, you're probably going to delay it every day. But this course can give you a strict deadline to finish the course, and yet it's not intense that you cannot understand it properly. So it's a good way to build your skill set and provide commitment on yourself with an acceptable load. Each session can be between 3 to 4 hours. Now, this is depends on your response and how you're working with us. So if we're able to finish the investigation quicker, if we're able to, if the attendees are receiving the information faster, we might be finishing at around 3 hours. And if we having, for example, we have to explain more and we have certain difficulties, then might go to up to 4 hours, not more than that. So there will be around 15 minutes break, two breaks, 15 minutes each. And as I said, each student is required, of course, to register for the Blue Teams Labs online, because that is our primary labs to demonstrate for you. Each student will receive a 3 months pro subscription for free, worth 50 USD, as a part of this training, of course. Now, sessions will be held using Microsoft Teams as we're doing today, but the difference is it will be available to you on a folder available on the cloud. Yet, if you would like to access this, for example, you missed a lecture, you couldn't attend certain day, there is a small soft NDA that you have to sign, not to share this with anyone else. It's just because we do try to keep the training for only our beneficiaries. But of course, you will be able to access those online. What prerequisites that will be requiring during this course? Now, of course, if you were just now trying to understand the computer systems through this course, it won't be really suitable, because you will need certain experience in the IT computer networking. For example, when I say the word authentication, I might explain a little bit authentication, but not much through that. You need to have a basic knowledge of security concepts and basic hands-on skills with the operating systems. Sometimes we need to open the command prompt. You need to do with simple commands. But of course, for example, if you want to do advanced PowerShell script, definitely I will be explaining what's behind that and what are we doing with the script. What does each parameter, for example, mean or a variable mean, and why we're doing that. But again, this is not considered to be a very introductory course, because with this course we will be trying to build a skill set to be a SOC analyst, which is a, somehow a moderate level of um, complexity, let's say, position. It's not a very basic position. So we need to have at least the basic hands-on skills and basic knowledge. Now, if you would like to start with a basic course, we do have that on the platform, and the guys can definitely help you to choose the best course to start with, and we'll be definitely happy to support you. And else than that, if you have the basic knowledge and you just want to clarify certain things and you want to uh, understand certain concepts, one or two, so definitely be able to help you with that. Now, um, if I would like to let you work on the first investigation, now you can start if you would like to follow with me. You can immediately now start registering um, a new account on the Blue Team Labs online. So you can follow Blue Teams Labs dot online, and it's a free registration that you can perform. You can create an account, and there will be a certain investigation that we can follow just to show you how you can work yourself on the lab. So I will just give here around 5 minutes for you to perform a registration for a new account on a Blue Team Labs online. If you want to use your own, your personal email, that will be good. You will just have to provide your information, verify your email, and you will be up and running with the Blue Team Labs online. Let me, during these 5 minutes, also show you how you to do that. Maybe I can register one of my emails. So register for free. Display name. You can put any name here. No need to put your own name if you would like to. All right, I can put.
Hi, if I give my real name, is it fine, right? In sign up?
I for security, of course, definitely you can add it, but usually I try to keep my personal information um, somehow not available unless required. It's my own
Nowadays,
strategy, but it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's okay. Then it's just personal preference.
is there any way I can change my name?
Yes, yes, you can change it. Definitely, you can change it. So as you can see here, just before I show you how to change your name, it's just to tell you that it's very important also when we are following Blue Team Labs online, not to share the answers for the investigations. Now, some investigations very few that they have shared online. Now they are going aggressive against people not to share these online because you have to get these answers by your own investigation. I mean, what's the point is to get the answer ready out of the internet. You have to use your investigation skills. You have to build your skills in order to answer these. So you just try. I mean, try not to share and not even to look for them online because if you found an answer online, it's really going to bring down the benefit out of this training. So going to agree on that and. Yeah, if you want to change your name, I think it was inside profile. It's in the account settings. You can just change this mood 2. I can put it mood 3. You can see that, right?
Yeah, yeah, sure. Yeah. Thank you.
Well, I think there's a save button here. Yeah, it's here. You should press save. And here it's changed. So inside investigations, we just going to do the free one now because the subscription is not yet ready. We need I think next lecture you should have the subscription ready, and you should have the pro. Once you have the pro, you have tons of investigations. Now we just have only two. So I'm going to click on investigate Deep Blue. If you are able to register, so as you can see, this is a free one. A Windows workstation was recently compromised, and evidence suggests it was an attack against internet-facing RDP, and RDP is a remote desktop protocol that operate on port 3389. Then Meterpreter was deployed. What is Meterpreter here? Meterpreter is one of the tools that they engineer a certain payload, which is a bait for Microsoft Windows. When they copy it and they use it, then it will open an attack channel from the attacker to the victim. So this meterpreter is part of what we call it Metasploit framework. This framework is heavily used for penetration testing and red teaming. So now you can understand when we say red teaming is the people who are trying to attack. So Meterpreter was deployed to conduct action on objectives. So we need to they have certain actions on the machine. Can you verify these findings? Now you have been provided with the security events. Let me put it in a So you've been provided with a security event and system event logs, which been exported from the compromised system. This is actually pretty much similar to what you have in the practical life. So they will provide you with a certain events that happened at the workstation. So let's analyze them and see what we have.
Does it misinterpreter means gaining access to the victim, right? To the
No,
target.
Meterpreter is a
Gaining
tool.
access.
So this tool, yeah, if it is deployed properly, then you have a compromised machine, what you call it. A compromised means that it's been successfully attacked. So these are the terms we should be clear on the terms. When they do an attack, they are trying to exploit a vulnerability or they are trying to reach this machine. If they were able to reach it, then what we call it, the machine got successfully compromised. So a machine is compromised, is attacked. And they are saying that the machine was attacked and compromised using the tool which is called Meterpreter. So Meterpreter is just a tool that has been used to successfully attack that machine. So Meterpreter, they say it's been deployed. Deployed that means it's really successfully uh, attacked the machine and happened to be used on that machine. So you've been provided again with the security and system to see the compromised system and analyzed. You should analyze these, not the Windows logs that's been generated by the lab machine. That means not the live logs, because there will be live logs that happening every second, but they don't want the live logs because they have done the attack on other machine probably, and they kept the events for you. Okay, any other question? So they tell you here, by the way, it's very important that using Deep Blue CLI engine, you providing the path of the files, reading material is on GitHub. Of course, GitHub is a library of software and tools and IT professionals. Uh, when we go to GitHub now, on that link, we will find a certain code or software that has been developed. Now, this is the tool that they're suggesting us to use. Now, what is this tool? This is a PowerShell module. What does it mean, a PowerShell module? It means it's a tool that's been built to be used by the PowerShell. So when you add that tool, you can use PowerShell. What is PowerShell? PowerShell is a advanced command line for Microsoft Windows or Microsoft. So Microsoft, they have developed the normal CMD that we use. Um, the normal CMD that we use for ping and normal command that we use to change directory, that has been enhanced. They have been enriched with a much more advanced way to perform activities, and that is what we call it PowerShell. So even from if you are on the command line CMD, you can type PowerShell, and then it will take you to PowerShell, which is a different platform now we're using. So now we can, for example, get the processes they are running on the machine, for example. So that means, what does it mean? It's a PowerShell module. A PowerShell module is a PowerShell tool, a tool that's been used by the command line of the Windows, specifically the PowerShell commands. And what does it do? It provides threat hunting. Oh, again, we explained a little bit threat hunting. Threat hunting is to hunt the threat through the Windows logs. That's exactly what we want to do here. So they're giving us the logs, which they have evidence of attack, but we want to see these details. We want to answer these questions. Now, how do we use that? They'll tell you the usage. To use this, you need to have the deep blue command, and then you provide the log name and the file name. So let's have a look. For example, here, for example, we have the deep blue here is trying to get the log, the security log of the machine. For us, we don't want to process the log of the machine or to process the log of the system. We want to process a file that has been saved. So let's go back to Blue Team Labs Online. What we do again, we have to click on Start Investigation. Now, Start Investigation for me, I have 4 locations to reach it. I will choose Mumbai because India is the closest to the United Arab Emirates, and depends on your location, of course. I have some chats here. Maybe I can take a look at. The session is recorded. Yes. Yeah, I hope you're still with us and your laptop's battery is fine. We want to have every one of you. All right, so again, we have the lab here. And what's the login username and password? If you click on details, as you can see, the OS username is BTLO. It stands for Blue Team Labs Online. OS password, there is no password to access the system. Reserved to my IP. So I'm going to do BTLO, Blue Team Labs Online. So in my deep blue investigation here, if we take a look at the folder in here, going to double click on the investigation folder. And I can find here, if I take a look, CyberChef, a tool. Now, they are not saying to use the CyberChef, so they are not mentioning it. No need to work on it now. They are mentioning that we will be using the deep blue. Deep blue, so it's there. We have a link to event viewer. We have the README. We have a security and system. So these are the security and system are the logs. If we take a look at what are Windows logs here. So if we take like a quick discussion here, you remember I told you in the security information and event management, the SIM solution is the job of it is to take every single log around the endpoints. And of course, part of that is the event logs. So for machine here, there are essential logs that will be recorded every time something happens. Now, these logs are extremely useful when you work in production. For example, if there is an application trying to perform a certain activity and is failing, it will appear. If the application is crashing, it will appear. So we have certain logs on every perspective. We have application logs which are related to the services which are running. We have security logs which track the usage, track certain areas. We have the setup about if you want if any installation going on. We have the system events which are very sensitive to the system, and we have something called forward events that is only if you have subscribed to another machine to send you the events. I have a question which is, are you using virtual labs for this? I didn't get your question actually. It's a virtual lab, yes. So these logs, if we take a look at the event logs, they have very good aspects. What are these? For example, here, if I'm taking a look at the system service control manager, for example, I have, for example, here event number 7036. If I double click that, what do I get? A very informative window here. The window is saying that I have the network setup service entered the running state. That means there is one service has been started, which is the network setup service. The beauty thing about it that it tells you the exact date and time. So when was it logged? When this happened? The target machine. So I know, for example, when I'm here using a centralized log system, I'll be looking at different logs and maybe each one is generated from a different location. So here I will be able to tell that this log has been coming from that machine. Service control, the source of the log. So this is related to what? The event ID. There is an ID that if you can look online, you'll be able, for example, to find that. And the level. It might be an information, it might be a warning, it might be an error, and it might be critical event. So all of these information will be helpful when you're reading the logs. And one of the most important ones also the user. The user is who's the user that use that service. So for me, the system, of course, most of the events will not have the user part, but when you're an application and you're running certain file, you will be able to know, for example, this is running by the system user. Now, this is a warning. So warning that this service stopped running. So as you can see, these logs, they keep coming here for different reasons because all the services are provided a certain level of logging. Now, the point is, these logs sometimes are not enough. So we need to tune the client to log more events. Now, of course, we'll be investigating Windows event logs furthermore, but I just wanted to give you here a simple idea about the Windows logs just to be able to process some of the investigation. So the investigation says the following that you will need the deep blue, and I have certain questions. So well, let's see what the questions we have. It's saying that using deep blue CLI, this tool which is here, investigate the recovered security logs. Here, this is the security log that they recovered. So this is, I suppose, from the attacked or compromised machine. Uh, security.evtx, which user ran the Google update.exe. So there is Google update.exe that has run, and they're saying that there is an event that happened here, and we need to know who did it, who ran that service. Just to tell you why are we using Deep Blue CLI in the first place, and what is this tool? The thing is, I show you the events and the event viewer, and I show you the benefits of it. But to be honest, there is a certain disadvantage on using and reading the events the way that we're doing here manually. The thing is, these logs, and especially the security is designed to track certain activities. For example, user account management. User account management means a user is trying to log in. A user is trying to create another user. A user is trying to log off. So a user trying to reset the password. You will find an enormous number of events. They are happening all related to the same activities. So being able to manually analyze this sometimes with a certain level of logging is a very, very difficult thing, and it's like a nightmare. So the Windows security audit logs or event logs are very difficult to process manually in this way unless given a very, very specific information using the certain event ID and certain duration. So for that, Deep Blue CLI, the one which they provided, what does it do? It can detect some suspicious account behavior. For example, user got created, user creation, user added to a certain group. Maybe they created a user. The first thing that the attacker would do when they create the user, try to add it to the local administrators to be able to be what we call it to escalate privilege. So privilege escalation by adding the user to the local admins. Password guessing, password spraying, all that can be extracted easily when you use the Deep Blue. So we are using the Deep Blue to make our life easier reading the security events. So of course, the information is available in the security log here. But are we going to be able to find it easily? No. So they gave us a good tool for our information and to achieve better. How to
We
use
have to
this tool?
install Deep Blue in the VMI, right?
No, the Deep Blue does not require any installation. The Deep Blue is available as a PowerShell command. So whenever you want to use it, what you can do is you can run here the PowerShell, Windows PowerShell, run it as administrator to be able to access the directories, and then you can navigate. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to increase the PowerShell font. What I'm going to do is I'm going to navigate to the Deep Blue. So what you can do is you can go to the desktop, investigation, Deep Blue CLI master, and copy that directory. You can go to the PowerShell and change directory, CD, and between quotations we can put the path. So now we are at the Deep Blue directory. So we can try the command Deep Blue. Now, if we have certain commands available, if you type the beginning of the command or the beginning of the file, it will autocomplete. That's the beauty about the PowerShell. So you can just type the file, the beginning of the file name, and press Tab. It will give you the the remaining part of the file. PS1 is PowerShell 1 is the syntax which is used when you have a PowerShell script or PowerShell command. So the command that we use is a PS1 PowerShell. Now, if you found not PS1, PSM, that's a PowerShell module, and the module contains a library of commands in the PowerShell. So what do we want to analyze? Do we want to analyze the current computer logs? No, we are provided with a certain log. Where is that? That is available on the location, which is here.
So can I do it in my physical machine, Deep Blue, or I have to open VMware or
Deep
go by
Blue can be used on your machine, on your own machine or VM, but you need to have certain logs with a certain compromise. Now, I hope you don't have any compromise, any suspicious activities. But there is a reason that we are using these labs. These labs are already populated with certain malwares, with certain suspicious activities. So they are similar to the practical one that you will find in your daily job on your SOC analyst thing. So Deep Blue, for example, PS1 here, we're going to put the file name. I'm going to copy the file directory, which is here, investigation, and then put a backslash and choose what file do we need is this security, sorry. So we go back to the question, make sure that they're saying you need to investigate the security EVTX. So that is the security event EVTX. If we see the extensions, that is EVTX. So this is the file we need to investigate. So take a copy of that file and then I put the file name here. So I'm using the deep blue command PowerShell to scan the
Should be the security.
yeah, no, sorry about that. Yeah, it should be the security. Thanks for the help. So it's the security again. So we are using the PowerShell of Deep Blue to investigate the security event. And let's see what we're getting here. Deep Blue, it tries to look for certain patterns. For example, a command line that has been used. And why this command has been used. What is the command? For example, is it a suspicious command? Is it a what has been running? So all the suspicious activities will try to analyze it. So you can see here that we have at this date there is audit log clear, and that is suspicious. Why someone would clear the logs? That means something suspicious happened. But anyway, they cleared the logs, and after that they started the first log. And as you can see here, the first log appears here for us is that suspicious command line. How this suspicious command line happened? They tried to investigate the security, and they found that there is a command that run on an event on a security that is running the Google update, and they're trying to ping a certain code. So as you can see, this is a Google update.exe. I think this is what's required for us who run the Google update.exe. And as you can see, how do we know? You just look at it. From the beginning, you can see that the user has been logging in a profile of Mike Smith. So it's most probably Mike Smith is the one who used it. So we can, by the way, in the PowerShell, you can just select whatever text you want and press enter, and then it will be copied. And again, from the lab, it will be copied here. So in the questions, which account user run the Google update.exe, we can just paste Mike Smith. And as you can see, this is a correct answer. Now, of course, you can use the PowerShell in an even better way if you want to do something like that. Is you can take the result of the deep blue, what we call it, in a pipeline, just take it to a next level. Filter certain string. So in PowerShell, actually, what we can do, we can search for a certain pattern, say. This pattern may include string. For example, here, you need to select string. You have a certain string to select with the pattern. Search for me for the pattern called Google update. So what is it going to do now? It's going to do the processing on using the deep blue and take the result of the deep blue to find the word Google update. And as you can see, we found only these two events. And these two events, as you can see, starting with a Mike Smith. The next question says here that using Deep Blue, investigate the recovered security events. And again, we are talking about security log here. At what time is there likely evidence of meterpreter? So at what time the meterpreter really started in my machine? So let's analyze the same thing, but without this Google update in this time, and see what's the Deep Blue going to give us. So that command here is running Google update. Here is running Google update again. And doesn't seem. So as you can see here, there is Metasploit style CMD. So it detected the command which has run, which is cmd.exe, and it has a style of a Metasploit. And as we said, Metasploit is the biggest, or not, is the bigger framework for the Meterpreter. So Meterpreter is one of the tools that's used inside Metasploit. So Metasploit style CMD, the possible use of Meterpreter. So here we have what time, what date is it? It was on the 10th of April 2021 with this time. You can just simply press enter to copy it. And let's go to the answers. Let's try it. Let's see, why is this wrong? Oh, the format, it says, be careful here with the format a little bit, because the format say month, day, year, which is correct, hour, minute, seconds, but it doesn't say AM or PM. So I copied AM, which is wrong. So we just need this without. Be careful, the format sometimes is can confuse you, but yeah, now it's this correct. Using Deep Blue to investigate the recovered system now, not the security. What is the name of the suspicious service that got created? Now I have a good mind to give you the rest as a, let's say, something you would try at your own time and be able to get the answers of it. Maybe next lecture we'll see who answered correctly, who has questions, who found difficulties, and maybe I can also quickly answer the rest of the questions which are here. How many we have? We answered 2. I can do 3, 4, 5, 6 in the next lecture, so I can show you how these things work and explain the reasoning behind why these answers are coming. So I'm going to close this now and get back to my slides. So as we see it, that in the Microsoft Windows events, we have the security system application PowerShell sysmon. We'll talk about it later. Certain processes that we used here, we can see that happened at the process creation and process termination. These are what we're looking for. The process creation is the when the event create when the when any process starts, and process termination also happens when you close any certain process. Actually, also these will clarify while we're answering the rest of the questions. The next lecture. Here we used Deep Blue CLI. What is Deep Blue CLI? It's a PowerShell module for threat hunting using Windows event logs. It can detect suspicious account behavior, suspicious command line, and suspicious service auditing, like suspicious service creation and errors. Certain attack tools, like as you can see, Metasploit, it was found. Another tool, for example, Mimikatz, also it can be detected. So performing the Deep Blue investigation, what we see in that, the process of performing the investigations that we have is first to read the investigation scenario, very important. Normally it's a 1-minute read, and understand what we have. Take a look at the mentioned tools reading. For example, we have Deep Blue. You have to take a look at what they are providing us. And then explore the given artifacts that provided, for example, events, malicious file, whatever. Then analyze and answer the questions as we have done. So only we did the first 2 questions. I'm very happy to see also what's going on, what will happen in the next. For me, I think I have delivered my message, and I'm again very happy to have you here on board. And if you have any questions, please let me know.
So I'm just confused. The first time I didn't give attention, but I was outside. So
No problem. I'm here to
are
help.
you're, you're not using any virtual things, right? Just your physical machine. You're doing Deep Blue everything, right?
Yeah,
the
so
physical.
basically what our labs are already prepared and populated online. We don't have time to tell you to build your own virtual machines and have probably certain issues in them so you cannot perform the lab. These are already created virtual machines, Linux, Windows, any service that we want. So using these machines, you will be able to access them very easily, as you can see. So no machines required on your machine. Although if you would like to have, you can have your own. You can build your own lab. And for example, Deep Blue, for example, add it every time you see, for example, a new tool, you can just add it to your labs. So that's a good idea if you would like to, but we cannot rely on it in our training because you might hold back if anything happened with your machine, so you will not be able to get the experience. It's very critical for us to get your own practical experience in order to be able to continue the course with us.
Okay, thank you.
Most welcome.
Is a SOC analyst or cyber security analyst the same thing?
A cybersecurity analyst, you might investigate certain malware investigator. A SOC analyst is simply a role that can be in the tier one, tier two, tier three, very known tasks and duties that you will be performing. But a security analyst is a general term, so you might be a part of SOC or not, but you have the skill set to do it.
Thank you.
Any other question?
So this is actually the part of the blue team, right? So it's almost similar to blue team, or is it more related to
This is
SOC analyst?
exactly blue team because what we're doing is investigating. We're not trying to perform certain attacks. I didn't introduce for you for I maybe I've explained for you what for example metasploit and meterpreter. We need to know high level what are these things, but we don't have to have extensive experience with them. In opposite, we have to analyze what happens when they try to attack a machine. So that's the difference between this and that. So what you're doing here is all blue team. Definitely blue team is being part of investigation, for example, here being able to analyze these logs and to find an attack, hunt an attack. Try, for example, to analyze a certain traffic stream, being able to point a certain weakness, point a certain vulnerability, point a certain exploit. How would you be able to do that? You need to build the right skill set to be able to have. So yes, this is definitely is a blue teamwork.
Okay, thank you. And one more question is like I saw like this course is you say like is a partially affected or like a partial curriculum or blueprint similar to like SANS SOC analyst and also the EC Council security analyst, right?
Yes, definitely. This is actually this prepares you in a very big percent to be able to apply and for the exam of the GIAC SOC analyst because see they are focused on the same topics. Now there might be
Okay.
one more topic here, one more topic there. You need to prepare yourself, but being able to finish all these investigation, all this knowledge that you have, you can have a very good confidence in yourself to fill the rest of the areas in your skill set to be able to apply for the exam.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Mr. Mahmoud, I have two questions.
Go ahead, please.
The first one, in this course, do we have any incident response related to the ransomware or exploitation of the web shell attacks? Do we have such incident
Yes, we
training
will.
on
We will
this session?
definitely. Yeah, we definitely going to take a look at the tool that we use for the incident response, and that will be taken into in the Hive project. So the Hive project is incident response framework that we will use it to mimic how to perform certain incident response, how to report an incident with a certain tasks and certain TTPs, and how does it look like in the Hive platform?
Okay. And my second question is, I mean, are we also going to do the threat hunting using the Yara rules, IOCs?
Yes, the Yara rules will be used, and the IOCs is not a tool; is the indicators of compromise, and of course we will be taking a look at that and explaining them. Yes, that will be part of the training.
Okay. Thanks so much.
You're very welcome. Any other question? Okay, so I think we're fine. We tried to deliver all the knowledge that's required for this training, and I'm very happy to have you here on board, and I hope that to see you all in the next session. Even more
Sorry, I have a
people.
question.
Yeah, go
If
ahead,
you don't
please.
mind. When will is there going to be a schedule posted, or how do we know like when the meetings are supposed to be held?
Well, we have always the support team, and our next session that will be next Sunday again on the same time.
Okay.
That's for the next session. And then after that, it will be on 2 days, that is Saturday and Sunday on the same time again. We're trying to keep it on this time because it's suitable for people who are on duty. Um, uh, and definitely we have the same WhatsApp number that's provided and our support email that we have here. They are very supportive. Anything you want to know about the sessions, when they are going to take place, and everything.
Perfect. Thank you.
Most welcome. All right. So with that, I would like to conclude the session again by thanking you all and hoping to have you in the next session, and hoping you a great evening ahead. Thank you very much.
Do you have any shareholder or else?
I will let the guys to share with you the recorded session.
Okay, thank you.
You're most welcome. Thank you again.